Coming up on the season premiere of Flash Talk, Kent State men's basketball head coach Rob Senderoff talks about getting into the heart of MAC play. Head coach for Kent State women's basketball, Todd Starkey, also joins the show to talk about his team's first MAC win. Gymnastics head coach Brice Biggin talks about his big retirement announcement. And finally, wrestling head coach Josh Moore sits down with us to talk about the team's upcoming MAC schedule. All that and more coming up in a flash. Joined on Flash Talk by Kent State men's basketball head coach Rob Senderoff. Coach Sendy, appreciate you joining me here on the show. Talking about your team's offensive growth first, 85-plus points in the last few games in MAC play. Where have you seen on that side of the ball your team grow?
Yeah, I mean, we've been a pretty good offensive team this year. We have a good point guard who is one of the top assist guys in the country. We've shot the ball well from multiple positions, so you have to guard us on the perimeter, and then, having one of, if not, the best front court players in the conference and certainly in the country, helps, and then having Rob Whaley in there as well, a guy who can score back to the basket, and a number of other guys who can go in there and rebound. So we have a number of offensive weapons that you have to guard. So we have the makings of a good offensive team. We've been unselfish, when we don't turn the basketball over and we're not careless with the ball, we've gotten good shots and we've scored the ball. Our issues as a team have been 90% of the time have been on the defensive end and when we've turned the ball over. So we have been a good offensive team when we've taken care of the basketball.
You talk about the word being unselfish on the offensive end. How much does that help with your offense and introducing new plays, new concepts when you have that unselfish of an offensive bunch?
It starts with Sion, our point guard, who's one of the nation's leaders in assists. And then it spreads throughout the team. Our front court guys are good passers. Rico and Rob in particular, those two guys are really good passers. Morgan's a very good passer, an unselfish player, and with a high basketball IQ. So, again, it's a good passing team. It's an unselfish team. And when we are smart with our decision-making, and we take care of the basketball, we've been very, very good offensively. The times that we've been careless with the ball and we've had too many, unforced turnovers is when we've gotten ourselves in trouble because it allows the other team to get out in transition. It's shot attempts that we're not getting. It's not allowing our defense to get set. So taking care of the basketball it's been an issue, for a team that is unselfish and shoots the ball well and has the ability to score the way we do. That's been a really big point of emphasis here is making sure that we're getting shots on the rim every time down the court.
You mentioned trying to create more consistency on the defensive side. What are some of the things that you guys are doing in practice to try and grow that consistent effort?
We've gotten big stops when we've needed to get stops in close games. So that we have done, especially at home. But we have to become a more consistent defensive team to have success, throughout the months of late January, February, and hopefully in March. Generally speaking, as a head coach for 15 years, our team has prided itself on being a defensive-oriented team or program here at Kent. And, this year we have just not been consistent enough on that end. And we have some good individual defenders, but our transition defense has really, really struggled. Our ability to take away threes and close out to the basketball has struggled at times. And our ability to just come up with 50-50 and loose balls and giving teams extra possessions, it's not a this person or that person thing. It's just a collective. We have to find a way to come up with these basketballs. So every day in practice, we've tried to, drill the things we need to drill. We've tried to work on the communication part of it.
Flag behind you is going to be the giveaway for your guys' next home game against Toledo. Students are back, so how crucial is it that not only the students but the fans come out and support you guys on Friday night?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the MAC Center, when it is loud, is an unbelievable environment with a great home court and is a really difficult place for our opponents to play. We've been great at home this year. I think we're 9-1 or 8-1 at home. Our guys feed off the energy of the crowd, and this is the first game of second semester, first home game in league where our students are back and we can get this place rocking. It'll be a great environment here and against a really good team in Toledo. So love to have everybody out here Friday night.
6:30 p.m. tip-off on Friday at home. Head coach Rob Senderoff against the Toledo Rockets. Coach, appreciate the time.
All right, great. Thank you.
Golden Flashes fans, it's time to lock in your seats. Single game tickets for Kent State men's and women's basketball MAC games are now available. Come out to one of the best mid-major environments in all of college basketball, with championship coaches leading the way. Head to ksutix.com to watch all of the action. That's ksutix.com to watch your Golden Flashes battle it out in conference play. Hope to see you there, and go Flashes.
Hi, I'm Marcus Leto. I'm the co-creator of the Halo universe and the creator of the Master Chief. Kent State really taught me to think like a designer, not just to build visuals, but to build worlds. I mean, that was all this fire in my belly that I just wanted to kind of create something that was different. The program here really helped give me the tools to enter the workforce, and I still look back to Kent State as a foundation that allows me now to do the kind of stuff that I can do.
Joined on Flash Talk by Kent State women's basketball head coach Todd Starkey. Coach, a nice win on the road at Eastern Michigan. A lot of bench involvement. Bianca Giuggio, Anna Campanelli chipping in off the bench. Caitlin Holmes in double digits as well. What can you say about the whole team effort in that MAC victory?
Yeah, we needed everybody. It was all hands on deck, with this rash of injuries that we've had. And we had players in the first half of that game that went down or with foul trouble. And it was, all right, who's available? So it was great to see Caitlin and Anna and Bianca all step up, all had big plays and did a lot for us in their opportunity to shine. And we needed everybody for that one. But really want to, talk about Deanna Gray's play. 15, 9, 6, and 5. I mean, unbelievable stat line, and the way she kind of led the team there was big for us, and obviously Maya scoring it again was nice too.
Deanna, you just mentioned her. Obviously, that's a big offensive stat line and just a stat line in general with how she was filling the stat sheet in that game. What was the difference in her play? What was she doing right that allowed her to have so much success?
I think just really focused, playing a little bit more aggressive without being out of control. I think when she stays right in that kind of sweet spot for her, she's a highly effective player, and obviously was against a really good point guard at Eastern Michigan. I thought she did a great job defensively as well. So, overall, one of her more complete games since she's been here, and we needed it. Obviously we've had our struggles this season. We're not used to losing the way we are, but we've been in close games, and we've been, picking it up and. D in that game, Deanna was really good, and we need obviously more of that moving forward.
How much have you emphasized to your team? Because you talk about those close losses, whether they're to Central Michigan, Miami, or UMass, three of the top teams arguably in the conference, that you guys are right there. It's only a few little things that you guys need to switch up.
Yeah, the difference between winning and losing in this league is razor thin, and especially when you're down players. And we've had to kind of relearn this team on the fly. You make plans, you prepare for players to be in the rotation, and then all of a sudden they're out. And then it's not like you just can snap your fingers and all of a sudden you can play a different way and people can step in. So there's a little bit of a flow to that. There's a learning curve with that, and I think we're starting to feel some of that. Hopefully that will pay some dividends as we're moving forward. But it's it's a process, and I think people on the outside sometimes just think you can, just put whoever in and it's going to work smoothly right away. So I'm proud of the girls for continuing to fight, and we're right there, and showing some resiliency.
It's a mix of experience and also young players. You mentioned the term learning curve. It seems like those three freshmen, Caliquet, Campanelli, Holmes, they're not only getting a handful of minutes, but they're really starting to figure it out as well on both sides of the ball. How much has that been a pleasure for you to watch them grow?
Throw Emery Klatt in there too, as a first year player for us, and she's kind of like a freshman as well. All four of those players have contributed in different points during the season. It's, when you're coming in and you expect to be playing behind a lot of experience, and then all of a sudden that experience isn't there. Then, it's got to speed up the learning process. And so, yeah, all of them have contributed. And, and like I said, it was great to see Bianca Juzo, who's been here and been working hard and playing a supporting role, and then getting her opportunities. When she's had opportunities to shine here recently, she's been able to do that. And so look for more of that from her.
Important game coming up on Wednesday inside the Mack Center. Bob Bolden and the Ohio Bobcats come in. Two of the longer tenured head coaches, both with a championship under their belt. You and Coach Bolden, what are you expecting in that matchup with OU?
Man, they're much improved. Obviously, a really well-coached team. I think that they're really playing efficient basketball right now. They're a team that's never out of the game because they can go on a 12-0 spurt just like that. They're turning people over and converting turnovers at the highest rate in the league now. They're shooting the most threes, making the most threes, getting to the free throw line more than anybody in the league. So they've got some healthy stats, team stats that are the best in the league, and that's why they're 4-0 in the league. And so they've got considerable momentum. They can neutralize you with a 3-point shooting very quickly, and it's going to take a phenomenal team effort for us to find a way to defend home court.
Obviously, you're focused on the matchup with the Bobcats, but coming up on Saturday as well, rivalry matchup against the school down the road. You guys have dominated that matchup as of late. Do you guys put any extra importance in on that?
I have zero interest in that game right now. My interest is 100% on, and it has to be focused on our game against Ohio, and then we'll take care of whatever's coming next after that. But that's the only way to really kind of crawl back in the conference race here is to take things one game at a time, and to be, laser focused on what's right in front of you, and then continue to, keep working through the process of that, and the outcomes will hopefully continue to turn in our favor.
Kent State women's basketball head coach Todd Starkey. Coach, thanks for the time.
Sounds good. Go Flashes.
Looking to revamp your home? Let Fair Painters, owned by Kent State football legend Brian Winters, tackle the job. From flawless interior painting to precise drywall repair and stunning cabinet refinishing, we've got you covered. Our local team in Streetsboro ensures top quality craftsmanship, fast service, and a 10% discount for veterans. Make your home look its best with the pros you can trust. Visit fairpainters.com or call 888-602-3247 for your free estimate today. Fair Painters, where fair meets quality. Joined on Flash Talk by Kent State Gymnastics head coach Brice Biggin. Coach Biggin, appreciate you joining me. Coming off a nice MAC opening win against Northern Illinois inside the MAC Center. It was great to see your team go out there and compete very well. Just your overall thoughts on a nice start to the MAC year.
Yeah, that first meet, you always kind of wonder, like, what are the jitters going to be? How are they going to respond to being in front of the judges for the first time out of the year? And I think we got a lot of questions answered yesterday, and a lot of positive questions answered yesterday.
Of the four events, what stood out to you the most, or maybe an event that surprised you that you guys did very well on?
I think our vault has taken a step up this year. I think probably the more important thing is, kind of like you said, like, we're very happy with the depth of our team right now, and I think all four events have got really good potential. And that's truly kind of the thing that you look for in a really solid team, is not having a weakness in one of the events.
There were a lot of upperclassmen. Obviously, you had a couple sophomores also have some great scores as well. But what can you say about the veteran leadership of this team to be able to step into the season right away and just perform like they did?
We understood the talent that we have in that senior class, and really in the junior class as well. But we have 8 seniors, and a lot of them have really good experience, and a lot of them are really good competitors. So we kind of put it on them squarely, like, you have to be the leaders. You've got to set the tone for the team. You have to be the big hitters. And I think they obviously responded in a great way yesterday.
You talk about the depth of this team. How important does that make, the practices ahead for some of the gymnasts that want to be able to fit their way into the lineup?
It's really important because they do understand, like, they have a chance every week. Mm-hmm. Every week we evaluate the team, how they're practicing, how they look. And we want them to have healthy competition between each other, because the better the competition between our own team, the stronger it's going to make us when we actually get to the meet then.
Moving forward, you have a nice tri-meet against Fisk and West Virginia inside the Mac Center coming up. Just your expectations on that one. And the other question I'll add to that is, what do you think it is that makes you guys so difficult to take down inside the Mac Center?
Well, obviously with the meet, we've got West Virginia coming in, who's a really solid team, and Fisk, this is their last year, unfortunately, of competition. So they've got nothing to lose. And I know the head coach there was actually a former gymnast here now, earlier in her career. So real excited to see her and what they do. So it's going to be a great competition, and one that, we certainly expect to go out and win, to be real honest. Like you said, we take a great deal of pride in the Mac Center. We don't like losing at home, and we like to protect what we feel is our house, and we talk about it a lot. So the girls understand, like, there's a special feeling here in the Mac Center, and we don't want to give that up to anyone.
Big announcement for you, obviously announcing that you will retire after 2026, your 35th season. I mean, just a legend here at Kent State, simply put. So what went into that decision?
Yeah, obviously it's been a long career, and one that I'm very, very blessed and very happy with. I've just had such good help with the administration we've had, and the coaches, the assistant coaches we've had, and just the athletes in general. It's time to turn it over to someone else. 35 years, a long time. The body's starting to wear down a little bit. I feel like the program's in a really good position right now. And so if there's a time to let someone else take it over, run with it, move forward, then I think this is probably about it.
And how grateful have you been for this place over 3 decades, in all the things that you've done and the people here, for you to live out this career as one of the best gymnastics head coaches in the country?
It is a special place. And, it started so many years ago with Rudy and Janet Bachman, the way they ran the program and the family atmosphere they had. But the administration back there, Judy Devine, Kathy O'Donnell, Jen Kulix, those Lang Kennedy, those people truly made my experience just incredible. They were so supportive as an administration. Like I said, the assistant coaches I've had who have been a huge part of the success, and just the gymnast itself. Like, I've been completely blessed. I'll bleed, blue and gold the rest of my life. So I'm not planning on walking away. I'm going to help out any way that I can, because this is a special place.
Kent State Gymnastics head coach Brice Biggin. Make sure you come out and see his team inside the Mac Center against West Virginia and Fisk coming on up. Coach, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Counting up this week in Kent State Athletics, brought to you by KSU Ticks. Men's and women's track travels to Akron to compete in the Al Campbell Invitational. Men's basketball inside the Mac Center this Friday for a 6:30 p.m. tip against Toledo. Saturday afternoon, women's basketball in their rivalry game against the school down the road for a 1 p.m. tip. On Sunday, gymnastics host a tri-meet inside the Mac Center against West Virginia and Fisk. And finally on Tuesday, a big matchup for men's basketball as they welcome Miami, Ohio. As always, you can get your tickets at ksutix.com. If you want more info on your favorite Flashes teams, go to kentstatesports.com or go to the Go Flashes app. We'll be back with more right after this.
For every just one more mile to your next ace on the court, when you have a sports-related injury, Cleveland Clinic is here. For our Cavaliers, our Guardians, and athletes at all levels, our sports medicine team helps keep you in the game. With expert diagnosis, personalized sports therapies, and game-changing surgeries. For every injury, for every athlete, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
Attention Golden Flash fans, when it's time to make your next big move, choose the team that's officially in your corner. Green Lending, the exclusive mortgage partner of Kent State Athletics. Right now, when you mention Kent State, Green Lending will cover your appraisal, helping you save money from the very start. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, refinancing, or tapping into your home's equity, Green Lending delivers personalized service, expert guidance, and a transparent mortgage process. Make a winning move off the court. Visit greenlending.com, mention Kent State, and let Green Lending help you upgrade your home ownership experience. Joined here on Flash Talk by Kent State Wrestling head coach Josh Moore. Coach Moore, appreciate you joining me. Your team's headed into the spring semester in year one as Kent State's Wrestling's head coach. You guys have a week off coming up before you take on NIU and SIU Edwardsville. What's the biggest emphasis this week?
I guess really see where we're at. We've had some sickness. We've had few injuries. So we're trying to just regroup and kind of evaluate, for that group of guys, but everybody else just pushing forward, continuing to kind of evaluate, the last, 6 weeks, 8 weeks or whatever it's been, and just kind of figure out what areas that we still need work in. I think, what we've seen is a lot of fight, a lot of effort, a lot of guys stepping up when they need to because of a guy being out or not feeling great, but just guys being troopers for the most part. But still got to finish our single legs, finish our high crotches. I mean, basic wrestling stuff, but just continuing to improve on the fundamentals.
What are some of those areas of growth that you guys have identified to try and better those results? Because it already seems like the program is clearly headed in the right direction.
Continue to be disciplined in positions and wrestling on the edge of the mat, and building confidence. I think we talked about that before. Yeah. When you're not having success, it's hard to build confidence, hard to believe in yourself. So continuing to preach that to our guys throughout the week, throughout the season, and we've seen a lot of success. I think more than most people would have expected, and it just takes time. But what we're preaching every day is just be confident. You guys are doing the right things. You guys got to believe that you're feeling good, that you're trained right, and then you're ready to perform.
In December, you guys had a nice win over Gardner-Webb and also Buffalo in the MAC. The last few years for guys that had been on this team before you became the head coach of the program, it had been a little bit of a struggle to get those MAC wins. So how satisfying was it for those guys, those returners, to have that type of result?
Talking to the older guys like, Blake Schaefer and even Brett Simmerman. I mean, a lot of the guys that were in the starting lineup in the previous years, they just seems like you said, we've struggled to get those wins. And starting off with, the win over Bellarmine, which was a tough, hard-fought win. Our guys had to dig deep. I mean, they came in ready to wrestle hard. Close and our guys won a lot of the close matches, and that's what it takes. And I think our guys, kind of see like, hey, this is a different team. This is a different era. This is a group of young men that are motivated and are excited to be part of this program. And that's what culture is all about. And I think the culture has changed and will continue to change for the better. And with that will come more success.
How much do you encourage your wrestlers to watch maybe video or tape of guys they're potentially going to wrestle, or is it more about them?
Our assistant coaches, they do a lot of scouting and just kind of, get some tendencies and see what maybe guys are, where weaknesses could be. But I think the main thing is we focus on what we're doing and wrestle. We talk to our guys really about wrestling your match, getting guys to react to you, take charge. And I think that's what we'll continue to focus on. When we get into the MAC, it's a little bit different because we see these guys during the season and then we see them at the MAC championship. Yeah. So there is a little bit more scouting probably at the MAC championships once we get our matchups, just wrestling these guys within the last couple months and have film on. And so, but yeah, really just focus on what we're doing.
The back half of your schedule absolutely loaded with home meets inside the MAC Center. How excited are you for that?
I love the back half of our schedule. It's going to be fun. We have huge duels with OU, probably our biggest rival on alumni night. So really just pushing it out there to anybody and everybody that loves wrestling, maybe supports OU, maybe supports Kent. We don't care. We want you at the MAC Center just watching some really good wrestling. And then Central Michigan, after that, they've been one of the leaders in the conference. They've, really, really great coaching staff and great history. So a challenge, but an opportunity as well for some of our young guys and some of our older guys to attack them and see what happens. And then closing out with Lock Haven, where my brother coaches. I think that's going to be another good duel. They're, I think they're ranked in the top 3 in the conference. They've have a lot of depth, a lot of guys in the rankings. And, again, it's cool to go in there kind of as the underdog and being overlooked and really seeing if our guys can step up and compete against one of the best teams.
Lots of opportunities to watch Josh Moore and his Kent State wrestling team battle it out down the stretch inside the MAC Center. Kent State wrestling head coach Josh Moore. Coach, thanks for the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
That'll do it for this week's episode of Flash Talk. Make sure you tune in next week. We'll preview more Kent State men's and women's basketball matchups. For our entire GFTV studios, Ethan Lachinsky, Justin Spots, I'm Dane Richardson saying good night and go Flashes. Golden Flashes fans, it's time to lock in your seats. Single game tickets for Kent State men's and women's basketball MAC games are now available. Come out to one of the best mid-major environments in all of college basketball, with championship coaches leading the way. Head to ksutix.com to watch all of the action. That's ksutix.com to watch your Golden Flashes battle it out in conference play. Hope to see you there, and go Flashes!